Well, something a little different on the channel today. I don't usually do much shotgun videoing, so this is a little bit different. But earlier today, my friend Georgiaboy44 showed a video of his super cool 870 that he calls the Warden that he just picked up, and it's a Department of Corrections 870 that's just a dynamite looking shotgun that's got some really cool usage marks on it. I think it's a really cool shotgun. And he was talking about his barrel. So he had a 20-inch barrel with full choke, which indeed, as Richard says, that's something that's kind of different. And I really like it. It's a neat shotgun. So he kind of inspired me to grab my 870 Police Magnum. It was good inspiration to pull it out and wipe it down a little bit because, you know, this one is not a safe queen. This one's kind of a go-to. We won't talk about that too much, but I think that it's pretty obvious what the purpose of an 870 of this sort is. It's an excellent tool for the job. This one was a quote-unquote buyback, if you will, from a local department, and I'm pretty sure that it rode around in a rack in a cruiser. I don't know if it had any donuts stacked on the barrel, but it does have some discoloration from about here up, so I don't know if that's from sun or from donuts being racked on there, but it was definitely a shotgun that did its duty. And we often hear people talk about our milsurp rifles and whatnot, how if they could talk, what stories they would tell. I do not want to know what stories this 870 might be able to tell. It's just something I'm not interested in hearing. I think it's an excellent tool for the job. This one does have a rack number on it. This one was rack number 14. And as it is configured, sitting here in front of you with this Uncle Mike's, what they call it, a sidekick. Uncle Mike's sidekick. This was on it when I got it. The Uncle Mike's sling and swivels were on it with the cap up front. This is exactly how it came. To me, I picked it up off the rack at the local shop after it came back, and I'm happy to have it. This one, 18-inch improved cylinder. I don't know if we can see the writing on there, but right there you can see this one is improved cylinder. And you know, like I said, this is different than my other firearms. You guys are typical, oh boy, I can't talk. You typically see things on my channel that are a whole lot different ballgame than what this shotgun represents. But I thought I would show it because Georgia Boy showed his, and I think it's super cool. This one does have the composite 870 police stock. That's one of the few things that I dislike about the shotgun is the short forearm. I do quite a bit of shotgunning. I know I don't have much of it on my channel, and I haven't been shooting as much recently as I used to, but I shoot trap and skeet, and I have 870 target shotguns for both those disciplines, multiples, and you know, very pretty firearms. I'm fond of 870s. In a world where people have moved to higher end, fancier things, I still like 870s. That's you know, I started out on 870s and 1100s, and I've stayed with them because it's what I like. They fit well. I like them, but this forend is, or forearm, forend, whatever you choose to call it, is rather short. And when the action is open, it, for me, the way I hold a shotgun, it presents a pinch hazard right here. So I really have to be careful because I oftentimes end up with my hand in this area, and I have to watch it because it will bite me if I'm not paying attention. So one of the things about a shotgun like this that's, you know, got specific purposes is that I shoot it. I make sure it runs. I take this out every now and then. I'll shoot around a skeet with it. I'll sometimes screw one of my vent rib skeet barrels onto it just so it's a little bit more familiar on how it points and whatnot. Or I'll shoot this barrel, but I make sure it runs. I keep it going. And it was a good thing to bring it down and knock some of the fuzz off of it because it's, you know, it's around the house. And I say this one is one that is not pampered. It's a useful shotgun. This one does not have an extended magazine tube on it or anything like that, nor did Georgia Boy's. Typical configuration. You can get 4 in the tube. How do I know? Those just came out of the tube. And we've got the 4 on board here in the sidekick because I just left it on there because this is how the thing came to me. I would maybe like to put something a little nicer on here, perhaps a leather ammo carrier or something, you know, because this one kind of moves around a little bit, but it had to have a hole cut through it at some point for the sling to make it through. But you know, it's a useful tool. And like Georgia Boy said, the little bit better parts on these police guns, you know, this one is actually labeled Police Magnum. And then the other thing that I was mentioning to Georgia Boy in the comments is I also have the other barrel that was common for these. This is the Parkerized 20-inch sighted barrel. It is a smooth bore sighted barrel that was made for this shotgun. It is Parkerized. These are improved cylinder as well, just as Richard had mentioned in his video. I can get that to focus there. Come on. Usually these phones do pretty good, but yeah, this one's improved cylinder as well. There it goes. So yeah, I have the 20-inch improved cylinder, you know, with the same sights as you'd see on a slug barrel. And then I've got the elevated bead 18-inch improved cylinder. So pretty versatile in what it'll do. I really like these shotguns. I think they're rugged, they're robust, they're nothing fancy, but they're going to run. Internals are a little bit more robust than your everyday Wingmaster or whatnot. Obviously a very utilitarian Parkerized finish. This thing looked horrible just a few minutes ago before I wiped it down and got a little bit of the, you know, I know everybody just loves the smell of ballistol, so I wiped a little bit of ballistol on it to kind of, if you will, nourish that Parkerization, to darken it up a little bit, because it had become a little dry, and when it becomes dry, you see right through that finish, kind of like Richard's shotgun, and you can. The other thing is take an 870 like this out in the sun, and it'll show you, you know, what its finish really looks like. Inside they look pretty good, and this one you can see that it has a lot of indications of having ridden in a rack. You can see that on the trigger guard here, there's, you know, the typical wear marks from that kind of use, and, you know, like right there, you'll see it too. And my guess is that this one rode in a rack in a cruiser, and like I said, discolored from here on up, probably from the sun through the window of the cruiser. But I think they're an excellent tool, and this one is certainly my go-to. It's something I'm happy to have. I trust it. I've shot it enough to trust it. I've shot birdshot out of it. I've shot buckshot out of it. I've shot, I don't think I've shot any slugs out of this one, because I didn't intend on it shooting any slugs, but it's shot both factory and hand-loaded double-aught buck and number 4 buckshot loads. It's shot plenty of typical birdshot loads, and you know, these PMCs are number 6s, so that's what stays on board it. And I think it's a cool shotgun. I didn't pay a lot of money for it for this quality of shotgun. Granted, it's not a handsome shotgun, it's a utilitarian shotgun, but this is, you know, this is my choice. Someday will probably invest in something like a Benelli M4, but with the money that I'm going to spend for that, it's going to be a lot more precious than this one is. This is a good, useful tool that has served me very well, and it's nice to have something like this that you can depend on and at the ready. And I really appreciate Georgia Boy showing his. I think that shotgun has got to be about the coolest 870 I've ever seen. I really like that 20-inch full choke barrel. That's something I'd be happy to have in my assortment of 870 parts, because I think it's pretty cool, and I really dig the wear that's on the stock. I mean, that was obviously a shotgun that's seen some service, and I like that. So there you guys go. There's my 870 Police Magnum, and say it's kind of not really the same. Oh, that's the other thing I didn't mention. These also have the trough, if you will, in the top of the receiver, and that is a nice little aid to getting some alignment on that front bead. And the elevated front bead is, as Richard mentioned, I think he called it a ramped bead. I've always called them elevated beads. I don't know if there's an official name, but these pick up very quickly. You know, I think they're roughly the same height as a bead on a vent rib would be, rather than just the big ball down on the barrel that kind of sometimes gets hidden in. But there you go, another 870 Police Magnum to show the crew that browses around and looks at these things. And thanks, Richard, for showing yours. Thanks for watching.